Guess you didn't know that I'm a different breed. Yes, indeed. Got the king, he and me. Taking off high speed with the key. I can be anything I wanna be. I'm too hot for you, dog. You can call me Sneaky Pete. Throwing shade at your boy. I'ma cut down your tree. Matter of fact, I'ma leave it just so I can get a breeze. This too easy. I got Christ, and I know that he got me. Undefeated in the game. Yeah, we on a winning spree. Knocking on our adversary, toe to toe like I'm my league. Cause I'm a youngin' and I'm getting.
Welcome to Mech on Deck, Mech Madness.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Mech Madness Live. My name is Osiris. This is Chewy.
What's up?
We're Mechs on Deck, and neither of us are wearing pants right now.
No. But we have yet to touch each other because social distancing is important. So, nope. Touch me. Anyway, big news. Final Four. We are in the thick of it, of the Final Four. Some little fun tips. One of the matchups was won by one vote.
A little 1 pointer.
1 point victory. So stay tuned to find out. But before we get too far into it, we are going to give a quick shout out to, I typed in the wrong number because I know how to type. Anyway, I just want to roll through the sponsors for Mech Madness. The first being Key Cult, Linus Tech Tips, and Salvin. They produce some great stuff for the prizes, including some of these keycaps, board, well, cost of shipping board.
Yeah, cost of shipping
and
board.
everything written here on this entire board provided by Mr. Linus himself.
Yeah, and then, of course, TGR, Dixie Mech, and the Key Company providing some fantastic prizes. Dixie, of course, putting this whole thing together, doing great things here, putting us here, and then together this board that him and Linus are giving away together.
Absolutely. Next up, Prime KB, Pimp My Keyboards, and Canon Keys, providing some awesome prizes. So thank you guys. Thanks to them for providing such awesome prizes.
Yeah, and of course, Drop, Rama, and Zap cables. Getting some of the coolest little knickknacks from Rama and Zap cables there. Some little accessories to really take your build over the top with the prizes that they did. And then, of course, Drop giving away some key sets. So big thanks to them.
Novel Keys, Type Beast, Project Keyboards, also providing some awesome gifts. I know Novel Keys providing the NK65 and Project Keyboards providing some awesome gift cards for future things coming out. So definitely a huge shout out to them.
And last but not least, Unikey and Teha Types. Unikey obviously is GMK. They do a lot for this community, so I definitely really appreciate them and really appreciate their support here with Mech Madness 2020 as that kind of finishes. And then Teha Types for providing a build service for the perfect bracket, which went out a lot earlier than I had thought.
Yeah,
So, but
we had some dark horses really screw up some brackets.
Still mad about the FC65, but hey, it's been 3 weeks, so I can't really complain about it anymore. And then last but not least, the two idiots sitting in front of you. That's us. We're Mechs on Deck. We do this every Friday, at least for the next couple of weeks. Yep. So we definitely appreciate everyone tuning in. Everyone that's been here since the start. We've got a couple more left, and we excited.
Very excited. So, and once again, we had mentioned before, but big shout out to Dixie Mech for putting on Mech Madness 2020. Thank you again for the awesome tournament you have provided us during some times where we might have to be able to put our minds elsewhere. We can look to keyboards to distract us from the world, at least for just a few minutes on Instagram. So thank you again.
Absolutely. I want to give a little big shout out to Urban in the chat. Urban the
Urban the second.
Yeah, I almost called him Urban the L, but it's Urban the second. But hey, here you go, bud. That's for you. Hope you enjoy that. Courtesy of our good buddy Langlandia. Love you too, my dude. With that being said, we've got some intense matchups this week. We'll start it off just like we have the last couple weeks and talk about desk mats. So we have a couple different things that we have done this week. So we'll be going over the desk mats as well as a couple of our, hey, we wish we saw these.
Yes.
So matchups we wish we saw. So first up,
some what ifs.
Some what ifs. First up is the first matchup of last week, and that was the Great Wave Dark by Cannon Keys desk mat versus the Mizu. I've been told that it is not Tulia, and it's Tuila. Twila?
I was mispronouncing it. I was informed that I was mispronouncing it, but I also can't read that far, and it's on a tiny screen up here. So anyway, Twila, we're just going to call it Mizu.
Yeah, Mizu.
It's the Mizu mat. Mizu versus Dark Wave with a 56.9% win ratio with a 391 vote differential. Mizu taking out Great Wave Dark. Unfortunate. We've seen the end of the road for the non-keycap based desk mats. What do you think happened here?
You know, I think there is the whole fact that Mizu is a very popular set. The Great Wave desk mat was less of a group buy and is something that's in stock. I think that kind of made it, it's more available. You can go buy one. You purchased one.
I did.
And you have one
now.
I did.
So I'm happy that I have one now.
Yeah. They're great looking, but I think the avatar inspiration of the set really takes it over the top in a lot of people's eyes. I don't know if it's necessarily better. I think from an artistic standpoint, a lot of people would agree that the Great Wave is a more artistic looking desk mat. But the symmetry of the Mizu desk mat also looks really nice. So that's the other thing. It's simple, it's symmetrical, and it looks nice when you put a board on it.
Yeah.
Take a picture.
Yeah, absolutely. It does kind of complete that aesthetic that people are going for when it comes to putting together a complete kind of design when it comes to your desk and your entire setup. So yeah, congratulations, Mizu, Twila, Mizu, getting all the way to the end, all the way in the line, going to be in the final round, in the championship round.
Top two, baby.
Top two, exactly. And it's interesting that the mat went very, very far, where Mizu unfortunately got dethroned a few weeks ago.
It did.
So it's interesting to see that some mats are much more popular than their actual key sets.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Next up, we have a matchup that I very much wish we would have been able to see. The Battle of the Bingsus.
Battle of the boring Bingsus.
It's true. Bingsu Border versus Bingsu Stripes. This was one that I wish I would have seen. And there's many other, desk mats where they had two options. And I wish that I would have been able to see both of these go up against each other, because I kind of want to see that grudge match between the two. Which one's going to come out on top?
Yeah, personally, I think I don't remember the name. I think it's just Bingsu Matte.
Bingsu Border and Bingsu Stripes.
I think Bingsu Border would win this. I think it kind of has a little bit more of a classier, standard, modern look to it, where Stripes, because it is diagonal, might throw some people off. Might think that it's not as symmetrical as it could be.
Yeah, I think the thing about Bingsu Border is it's simpler and it fits everything. Bingsu is a set that I've heard a lot of people be like that they are really excited about. I think even Dixie himself today said in his Instagram story that that's one of the sets that he is the most excited for from a vendor that is obviously not himself. So I think these mats will, if they come back in stock over at Project Keyboard, it'll do well. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that if you like the way that some of these look.
Absolutely. So next up, we've got some crazy numbers.
Some crazy numbers.
So the desk mat that won by a total of 1 vote at 1,401 to 1,400. For those who are curious, it's a 50.02% win ratio.
This is crazy.
GMK 8008 edging out Metropolis for the victory. Did not see that coming. I had thought Metropolis was going to take it all the way. 8008 kind of it's kind of a Cinderella story at this point now. It
really is.
It's taken out so many good mats.
It's crazy because, and even if you look at the other stats for this, for the of what was picked to go the furthest by people, Metropolis by far and away was picked by more people to not only make it to the final 4, but to make it to the final 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like far and away. Whereas 8008's kind of like, I think it's like 6.
8008. So Metropolis picks to go to the final 2. 32% picked Metropolis to go to the final 2, where only a mere 8% picked to get 8008 to the final 2. Twila, actually, they called that one at 23% of brackets had Mizu Twila going all the way to the final 2, and Olivia plus Dark, which got knocked out very early.
Yeah, very, very early.
Very early, with 11% getting the next highest. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy to think at 32% of brackets versus 8% of brackets, and then next thing you know, we have 8008 knocking it out.
Yeah,
where are these people?
Yeah, where are the people who voted? But it's one of those things too. I think there's the recency bias. We talked about this last week. 8008, it's one. It just arrived in an actual key set form.
It did actually just arrive.
Yeah, if you haven't paid attention, you haven't looked at Dixie's Instagram today, go check that out. 8008 looks fantastic. He has a short video of it on a Bower. Looks great. But those desk mats, they just shipped out to people. So people have them. And Metropolis has been out for a while. The love for it may have faded a little bit. It's been a lot of time since that shipped back in, what was the desk mats, like August?
Desk mats was like August. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about. Maybe, their desk mats are starting to get a little dirty.
Yeah.
Starting to spill a few things on it. But no, I didn't see this one coming. I think many of us didn't see this one coming with 8008 doing so well. Does it have something to do with recency bias? Does it have something to do with the fact that this is a Dixie colorway on a Dixie tournament? Who knows?
Maybe.
That's there's so many factors, but at the end of the day, at least one person decided, you know what, I'm going to vote for 8008 instead of Metropolis, and that's what counted.
Hey, I'm down because I'm pretty sure I had 8008 going pretty far. I don't know. I haven't paid attention to my desk mat bracket for a while because I did really bad.
VT mat was underrated.
VT mat.
Violet Tendencies.
Violet Tendencies mat was underrated. Yes, and this is the same thing as the Violet Tendencies, just in a different colorway. So, thank you for pointing that out, Mr. OK Lord K, who's currently winning key sets right now.
Okay, Lord K.
Yeah,
there it is.
Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Definitely appreciate that. But yeah, so I think very surprising. I thought Metropolis was going to be kind of a shoe-in to win, but hey, you know what? 8008 took it.
Took it by storm, potentially going all the way.
Yeah.
So,
next up,
the what would have been a very interesting matchup, could have closed out the championship, although they both lost in the same week. What is, to what I'm sure some designers would say, an atrocity of a picture right now. Horizontal versus diagonal dots. The big, these two were just absolutely trucking through the competition and utterly destroying them.
So what's interesting to me is that if you look at last week's results, dots was taken out by know that one of them was taken out by
Dots was
8,008.
taken up. That's keycaps. Where are we? Let's see. Dots horizontal. That was the week before. Dots was taken out by Wave Dark, but horizontal lost to Wave Dark. Diagonal lost to 8,008.
Yeah, so because horizontal took out or was taken out by 8,008, it makes me wonder how would have Dots horizontal fared against Metropolis?
That would have been another good matchup to see. I think they both kind of have a very similar color scheme, dark colors with kind of brighter primary colors. So it's interesting that, you know, I mean, we'll never know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, we can always dream. I'd like to think that Metropolis would have taken that by about 55%.
Yeah.
It would have been relatively close, but Metropolis would have gotten the sure victory. But there's no brass on it. No, that's
No brass.
no brass at this moment. No brass on desk mats at the moment. But I think, you know, I do think that in this matchup, I would say horizontal wins.
Yeah, I think horizontal would win here in horizontal versus diagonal. But it would have been an interesting matchup. These were kind of the Cinderellas, so to speak. Obviously, Great Wave Dark is a Cinderella for not being involved with a key set.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people were surprised at how well Dots did overall in the tournament, not only in just desk mats. Yeah, super surprised that it made it as far as it did, but I definitely think that horizontal would have edged out diagonal at the end.
Absolutely.
But that brings us to, so Dixie will be doing third, fourth.
Yes.
Consolations.
Consolation rounds.
So the consolation for who will get third and who will get fourth in the tournament, Great Wave Dark versus Metropolis. How do you feel about
I
this
think
one?
Metropolis runs away.
Yeah, I think so too. I think because Metropolis was so close, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be upset that are just going to power vote Metropolis.
I like how this little thing.
Yeah, it's just right in the
middle. It looks like
there.
a Christmas ornament. It's perfect. Sorry. Yeah, I think Metropolis, the people that are upset, maybe, you know, are wanting to get Metropolis. I just, while Waves is, I would personally, if I had the choice between these two and it was like, what do you want or what would you buy? Wave Dark.
Yeah.
But I think the people will vote and the people will probably like Metropolis a little bit more. So interesting to see. I'm excited to see a couple more extra matchups this week to see how this one fares.
Absolutely. I think this will be a great matchup, but I do think Metropolis will kind of run away with it. It might be close first, and then I think Metropolis will pull it out. But Great Wave Dark, beautiful desk mat. Great job, Upas and everyone over at Cannon Keys for putting that one together. And then, of course, we have our final in desk mats. GMK 8008, which is somewhat of a Cinderella at this point, versus Mizu Tuila.
If someone knows how to, someone phonetically spell it in the chat.
Yeah, if someone wants to phonetically put that in chat. But this is your final. I think, surprisingly, when you put them next to each other, these are actually similar in color.
Twila. Got it right.
Twila.
Got there. We got there, boys. Tulia.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think this matchup, I think it's going to go the way of the hype.
The way of the hype?
I think the hype boys are going to win, and I think Dixie 8008 is going to take this one away. I think with 8008 shipping, it's going to you're going to start seeing pictures on Reddit, pictures on Instagram. 8008 is going to be everywhere. And I think that, unfortunately, just because of the timing, 8008 will walk away with a victory in the desk mat section.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you, especially because 8008 did arrive today. Dixie is hoping to get some out next week. Hopefully, I'm sure he's going to try to get some out before the tournament ends, just so that way it can get in people's hands and get some pictures out of it, because I think that kind of does help a little bit. But yeah, I think overall that little bit of color, the little bit of pink, it pops on the 8008 mat. For me, if I was to buy desk mats, I would definitely buy the 8008 over the Twi'lek words. I would definitely buy it over the Mizu mat just because I like the little pop of pink. I think it looks a little bit better. It's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. And I could very well see Twi'lek walking away with this though.
Yeah.
It's kind of got that, it's a little more artistic. It's geometric in that it's round instead of hard edges. It's a little bit more, can't see the whole thing, but you're basically, if you just take this section and copy it and paste it on the other side, it's the same. So it's got some more symmetry to it. So I think, it doesn't scream Mizu.
No.
When you look at it, which I think is another reason that people like it, is it's not in your face a keyset. That's where the Dixie GMK 8008 mat is very much this is for 8008. I think
pink really kind of,
yeah.
I'm here.
So exactly. So I just think that at the end of the day, some people you're not really voting for Mizu as much as you're just voting against the 8008. It's again, I think with hype, I think is going to carry this.
Absolutely. And that is kind of going to do it. This is get our dome pieces out of here so you can take a look at this. So this is the final matchup. As you can see, finals begin on the 31st for desk mats, and it's 8008 versus Twi'lek. Sorry, triggering someone. Don't know about Avatar.
It's all good.
It's not my fault. Well, it is. Technically, it is also my fault, but yeah. So March 31st. Stay tuned. You want to follow Dixie on Instagram at Dixie Mech, and make sure to vote.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on, I think we're going to be moving into some keyboards.
Absolutely.
So the first round of our final four, we saw the Iron 165 go up against the Satisfaction 75, and in absolutely brass versus even more brass. Some might even be brass versus copper. Who knows? But with 1,683 votes to 1,200 votes, there's a 58.38% win, 483 point differential. The Satisfaction 75 beating the Iron 165. Hype versus not released yet.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It makes me wonder what the difference would have been if the Iron 165 was in people's hands right now. I think there is a huge thing for the satisfaction of the fact that it is in people's hands. And it's Iron 165. Not only is it not out yet, it's also a first run for the company. So it doesn't get the benefit of something like, some of the TGR Jane V2 CE. Some people have it, but a lot of people don't yet. Yeah. But that does get the little bit of a pass because people know I've played around with a Jane. I know it's great. The Iron 165 has a ton of prototypes, but not everyone has messed around with them. Just so you know, they are fantastic. Yes. But Satisfaction 75, it's out. People have had it. People have seen reviews on it, seen build streams upon build streams of it. It's probably the hypest board out right now, I'd probably say.
Yeah, I'd say the Bauer currently, because Bauers are shipping. I think the Bauer missed it. It missed the mark by literally like 5 days. But I'd say it is still. But even then, it's still top 3 hypest boards right now. Right. We haven't really seen any key Colts been shipped in a little bit. But that's it's understandable because they've started their buys. Those group buys haven't finished up yet when it comes to shipping. So we just don't have a lot of crazy hype boards right now outside of the Bauer and the Satisfaction 70.
Yeah, it's sad to see the Iron 165 go, but
I'm okay with it because I have been screaming since before the tournament started. The Satisfaction 75 was going to make it. I still think it has the chance to win. I think with the hype, it has just been building and building. So congratulations to the Satisfaction 75. Either one of these boards could have won the whole thing. That's kind of the way Final Fours go. But the Satisfaction 7, I mean, it's people like knobs, apparently. Knobs, it's something new, it's something different. The Satisfaction 75 didn't really have a whole lot of help from the picture, where I think the Iron 165 has a much better picture.
Some cafe.
Unfortunately, it is what it is, right?
Hey, sometimes it be like that.
Sometimes it do be like that.
Say,
count it.
Boom.
Satisfaction, and
I'm satisfied.
you're satisfied. Well, all right. Next up, we have a matchup that we wish we would have seen, and that is the Battle of the 65s. We did see Bauer versus Key Colt.
Yes.
Bauer took it down. We did not.
We didn't see this. These are. Now, I'm not a fan of 65%. But if I had to pick two of the best 65% boards, I would say that these two are probably the ones that I would get if I was held at gunpoint.
Yeah. Did that hurt inside for you to say that? Did you feel
bit.
like a little bit of a knife just like going in and turning?
I feel like I'm going to take a long look in the mirror, and the mirror is going to tell me that I've sold my soul to the devil. No, these two boards are fantastic, designed beautifully by both Foxkey and Dixie. We have seen the Bowers. Obviously, there is one right here. And Osiris and I both have gotten the type on the Iron 165s. Those are going to be starting to ship out here in the next few months. So very excited to see these. I don't know. I don't know what wins this.
Yeah, this is one of those things that it's a timing thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like Bauer went for $1,500 on Victory Auction. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yeah, the other day.
And Iron 165 is obviously not out yet. We just got done talking about that. It's shipping soon, TM.
I mean,
but
I'll ask you the question. You walk up to a table, someone says you have to take one of these home and the other one you never get to type on ever again. And you have 10 seconds to decide. They both have the same switch. They both have your favorite switches.
So
they can come in whatever color combination you want, and you are guaranteed whatever keycap combo you want.
So this has nothing to do with the fact that this is a Dixie run competition and that this is all done through Dixie, but I will go with the Bauer for the sheer fact of the win keyless, the symmetrical win keyless bottom row.
And that is the correct answer.
That is the correct answer.
Because while the badge looks beautiful, it's one of the only boards I think that successfully pulled off the badge to where I actually like it.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it a part of the board instead of just a logo. Like I feel like they just did this better. I think that the Bauer I like my favorite layout is a win keyless 60%. 60%.
So it makes it okay for 65. If no more no 65.
Listen. We'll talk.
We're flirting now. All right. No, I think
Bauer has me biting my upper lip. All right.
Well, I mean, we are one of the few people maybe right now. I guess there's more now in the last couple of weeks than before, but we've typed on both Bauer and 65. Obviously,
I'm not going to say that I've typed on a Bauer because I've typed on this.
Hey, you know what?
By no means do I consider this.
It is still a typing experience.
It is a typing experience.
This board actually does feel really good. The spacebar just sounds kind of rough. But no, the Iron is a fantastic board, but definitely I feel like I would go with the Bauer. Just for
at that point, you're choosing layout versus.
Yeah, it's do you want a logo on the back or do you want a top corner? You you want the curve of the bower. They're both.
This would be the hardest. I think
Yeah.
this would be the most interesting competitions to see.
I'm sure there are people who had this same discussion when they were released because
they were within a few weeks of each other.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks. So this is definitely. I think this would have been a spicy matchup that would have gotten a lot of people talking. I think these are two of the, as you said, the best 65s to be released in recent history.
Yep. Although that Key Colt number 265.
Key Colt number 265 coming out soon.
Looking spicy.
There's been sneak peeks and Nautilus 2 renders. And does that thing look fancy? So excited for that. But
Schmancy.
right now, these are the two hot to trot 65s out.
Moving on to talk about something that has actually happened with, let's see, with a 1,422 to 1,383. That is a 50.70 win percentage, 39 votes. Expected this. The Key Colt number 1 Rev 1 defeating the Jane V2 CE. There was at no point did I see this being any different.
Yeah.
39-point swing. Could have gone either way. Personally, I thought the Jane with the more recent hype would have brought it up, but I honestly think Key Colt's name is just a little bit more recognizable, at least nowadays. In the last year and a half, TGR, while they have had fantastic stuff come out in the last few years, the recency of TGR hasn't really been there a whole lot. They're trying this new one, the CE, has kind of changed a little bit, but Key Colt's been pumping out straight fire for like a year and a half now. Mm-hmm. So anybody that's joined in the last year and a half knows Key Colt is where it's at.
Yeah, I think people in chat are saying, 39 is a really slim margin. It is. It is a slim margin. But I think the TGR wins. We talked a lot about last week of, is TGR going to get punished for the fact that the Jane V2 CE was the only board they released last year?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it wasn't that much, but I would say a lot of people are, well, I would say of the two TKLs from Key Colt, the number 1 Vision 1 is less pop.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? I think I'm not surprised the TGR won. I believe I had the TGR.
The number 1.
The number 1?
Yeah, the number 1 one. Is that the TGR lost?
Oh.
My apologies if I said anything wrong.
No, I think I have it wrong. So
no worries. The number 1, yes, the number 1 did, unless these stats are incorrect, but yes, the number 1 won 1,422 to 1,383. But yeah, number 1, like I said, Key Colt. The Key Colt does what the Key Colt does best. It wins. Yeah. It wins March Madness situations. So with the number 1 Rev 1, you're against the Jane V2 CE. You are taking two extremely high end boards in the exact same layout.
Mm-hmm.
This is a true test of what board do people like more. And I think that at the end of the day, like I said earlier, I think Key Colt, it's just a little bit more recent. There's just more things about Key Colt that people are enjoying more. I think, what's interesting is, if we had seen the number 2 versus the Jane, I think the number 2 wins by a much wider margin, but the Satisfaction 75 taking out the number 2 a few weeks back prevented that from happening. But I think the number 1 Rev 1, it's a fantastic board. I've typed on them many a times. And I think that I was completely, I wasn't shocked at all that it was this close. 39 votes is super, super, super small.
It's funny because it's like, I just assumed that the Jane was going to win. I just assumed it. But I was right in my assumption of maybe TGR was punished by only releasing one board. Their
were.
name, not that their stuff is bad, not that it's any less of a fantastic quality, but people know Key Cult more. There's people who have been in the community for 6 months have seen Key Cults.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't necessarily seen a TGR. And if they have, it's maybe one or two. It doesn't have the same mystic quality of, a Key Cult board does.
So,
but that gets us into one thing that you mentioned, and this is a matchup that we wish we would have seen. Jane V2 CE is number 2.
Yep.
Would it have been as close?
I don't think it would have been close. I think the number 2 runs away with it. I think the only board in this entire competition that could have beaten this was the Satisfaction 75.
Yeah.
That's the only one right now I think that could have won. I think Key Cult number 2. I think it offers a little bit more of that premium feel to it, and I think that it also just I think if you do the heads up 1 versus 2, I think the 2 wins.
Yeah.
And obviously the number 1 only, by a small margin, but still 1, I think the number 2 smacks us out of the park.
Yeah, I think the number 2 is a little bit more premium of a board. In a lot of people's opinion, it's a little bit more premium materials on the bottoms. You can get it in the giant brass bottom or giant stainless steel, polished stainless steel. It's a little bit more. I would say it's a little bit more elegant.
Yeah.
I think it does kind of destroy the Jane 2 CE.
Yeah. I think, like I said, I think that there's not many boards that could have taken down the number 2. And the Satisfaction was just on the hype train.
Yep, it was.
It was chewing along. So moving on, we have got our final round. The Key Cult number 1, Rev 1 versus the Satisfaction 70, which will be an amazing matchup. Because we've got kind of Old Faithful, the standard, the TKL, the basic layout with a Key Cult logo on it versus the 75% with the knob and the screen. We're talking hype versus industry standard of excellence.
Yeah, I don't even think this is close.
You don't think it's close?
I don't think it's close. Okay, when I say I don't think it's close, I think this is like 65% Satisfaction 75, 35.
Yeah.
And I would consider that not even close for where we are in the tournament, right? Like if you're earlier in the tournament, like 65-35 is somewhat close. I would say 70-30 at the first 2 rounds. But I think now at this point, Satisfaction 75, it is so hype. It has demolished just about everything it's run into.
It already took out the number 2.
Yeah, it already took out the number 2. There's no reason why it wouldn't take out the number 1. Yeah, I think Satisfaction 75 is just going to run away with it.
Yeah, I think Satisfaction 75 wins. I think while it will be close throughout the day, I feel like it will slowly gain over time. That those extra votes will slowly stack up. While the Key Cult is a fantastic board, I also think you might have people voting against Key Cult.
Yeah.
I think people kind of like seeing the underdog when it comes to boards in general and brands in general. I think you're going to have some people kind of just voting for the Satisfaction 75 because it's not a Key Cult.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, there are definitely going to be a large handful of those kind of voters that they just want to watch the world burn. They just want to vote for anarchy. So the Satisfaction 75, I think what takes over with this, I think by what you have stated, at least a 10% victory.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 10 to 15% is kind of right where the sweet spot is in the margin of victory for the Satisfaction 75. It is kind of what we're rolling with here on Mechs on Deck. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah, I will be following this, and I might get some confetti poppers if I pick the victory board. I'm not doing that great in the actual overall tournament, but
something to celebrate.
If I actually pick the correct board, I will be extremely happy.
Hey, something to celebrate.
Something to celebrate. Something to get hyped about. But anyway.
But yeah, so moving on. So this is your final matchup here. So you have the number 1 Rev 1 versus the Satisfaction 75 happening on April 1st. So be sure to head on over to Dixie Mech on Instagram at Dixie Mech. Make sure that you are following him, that you are paying attention to those stories so you can vote. And don't forget to also vote for the 3rd and 4th, which is the Iron 165 versus the Jane V2 CE. So be sure to check that out and make sure to vote and see where you stand.
Go, I'm going to say this. Go Iron 165. Let's introduce some anarchy into the mix. So, lastly, we've got our last tournament, the key set tournament. We're going to start off with the first matchup, Olivia versus 8008 at 2098 to 1028 at the biggest victory. Yes, the biggest victory in the Final Four. The only victory to surpass 60% at a 67.11% victory, 1,070 vote differential. Olivia knocks out 8008.
Dominated.
Absolutely dominated. Everyone saw this coming, I think.
Yeah.
It's Olivia. It's starting to, I'm very interested to see if we actually get to see someone put some numbers on Olivia, or if that hype, if that mysticism of it will just continue to drive it into.
The thing is, it's hilarious, is this is still a domination. Like, it's not even close. And it's the lowest margin of victory that Olivia has won the entire tournament.
But now I will say lowest by barely.
But
last week it was 1090. Now it's 1070. But yes, we are gained 20 votes.
20 votes. The consistency of GMK Olivia ++ in this tournament is insane. It is by far and away dominating everything else. Like, I cannot believe how much support there is for this set still. Obviously, it is a fantastic set. We all know how beautiful Olivia round 1 was. We can obviously assume that round 2, Olivia ++ is going to look great, and that Olivia ++ Dark is going to look fantastic. It's just crazy that it has this much support and is dominating. It gave us the single most dominant performance in the entire tournament on the first day.
SA 128, hard rip. Here's my question. All right. I almost want to throw a yellow, throw a penalty flag. All right.
Why is that?
I'm curious. Because you have now, it's almost every time I see this, every single week, nothing against Olivia, nothing against the tournament itself. Mm-hmm. That's 2 different key sets.
Hey, doubled up, baby.
So we've got Olivia ++ and Olivia. Some people don't know the difference. You're showing both key sets.
It's dark and light.
So it's a 2-to-1 already. So here's my question. Does Olivia Dark beat 8008 by itself?
I don't think so. That is interesting. That's an interesting thought process of, if Olivia Dark was by itself, how far would Olivia Dark have gone? I don't know.
I think it could have beaten some. It's going to beat SA 128.
Yeah, of course. I think it gets to like
gets far,
top 16. Maybe.
I'm scrolling through these matchups for GMK Olivia, and it's had a pretty easy run.
Yeah,
it's had now that it's kind of supposed to. It was the number 1 seed, so it was top 4. So it's going to have a very easy walkthrough, but it was going against Cat Milkshake in the round of 16. So you have the GMK victory. It's going against Dots, which is a very polarizing set. It was going against GMK Dual Shot, which I think Dual Shot might actually win that victory if GMK Dark or Olivia Dark, and then SA 128. Of course it's going to win. It's had a very easy walkthrough in this tournament. I am just curious to know if Olivia Dark wins this tournament alone, or does it need the help of the fact that it's got the previous winner's picture right next to it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird situation, right? It's one of the few times that we've had, the other sets that have released things like this. Like if you look at GMK Cafe, it did have the dark version of just the alphas. It wasn't released as 2 base kits. Mm-hmm. This is a weird situation, the fact that it is actually 2 full base kits that were available for purchase under the moniker of a GMK Olivia Plus Plus.
Yes.
I don't know.
Throw my yellow flag, man.
Hey, there's nothing we can do about it now. But I do agree with you. I think Olivia Plus Plus Dark, so the newest rendition of this key set, would not have made it quite as far.
Yeah. And unfortunate, GMK 8008, it's interesting. If we push this tournament back a week,
yeah.
Does 8008 do significantly better with caps in hand, pictures on Reddit, pictures on Instagram? Did Dixie unfortunately miss huge voting potential by 1 week on 2 separate occasions? The Bauer, we missed by about 1 week, could have potentially beaten the Satisfaction 75. GMK 8008, missing by 1 week of shipping. Does Dixie have the postal service to blame for Mech Madness and his losings?
Maybe. I think, that is actually a really good point, because just solely based on the picture, or not the picture, but the video that Dixie released today of 8008, and how literally he has 8008 on the Bauer, which is also this color in this render, and it literally looks like this render.
Yeah.
At least from what I can see on my phone and my computer.
I'm telling you, man.
He missed it by a week. Both fronts, man.
Both fronts. But I hope 8008 at least wins in mats.
Yeah, hey, it could win in mats. So, it's still got hope there. Unfortunately, it got, I think
it ran into the juggernaut.
What did Dixie write on our on the little stats thing? He put something funny of
where was it?
Held Olivia.
Yeah, held Olivia in the 60%.
Yeah,
just happy to be in the 60%. Hey, congratulations to 8008. You put up a good fight. You took out some sets that 8008 had a tough road to get there.
It did, and
it knocked them all out accordingly. So congratulations, 8008. But unfortunately, you've been voted off the island.
Sad to see you go, but I'd say maybe next year. But this is kind of a 1 year thing. So, rip. Sorry, bud.
Well, never again. Anyway.
Hey, maybe they'll do
Olivia round 3 will come back in flying colors.
8008 Dark, maybe.
See this next year, before we get to this next slide. If Olivia doesn't show up, it's going to be like when Michael Jordan left the NBA for a year and a half, and other teams are like, "Oh crap, we need to get in there and try and get some championships now before he comes back." So anyway, next up, this is a matchup I would have loved to see: Olivia versus Cafe. Now I know Olivia would win. I don't think Olivia Dark would win.
I don't think so either.
I think Cafe would beat Olivia Dark.
Here's the even and more interesting question: Olivia plus Dark versus versus Cafe.
Cafe with a dark black coffee
with
kit.
a black coffee kit.
Hell yeah, that would be a fun. That's I think Olivia wins.
You do? I still think Cafe wins.
I think because it's kind of a brownish color. I think people don't like the brownish; they'll like the gray more. But I think Dark Olivia loses to Cafe standard. I think in this, I think Cafe pushes Olivia to the 50%.
Yeah, I think this is a much closer round. If this did happen.
Yeah.
I think this would have been one of the closer matchups for Olivia. Now, obviously, I think it will be getting into its closest matchup in the finals, but I think of all of the options, this would have been the closest non-final option for Olivia. It would have been cool to see. I think a lot of people in the community maybe would have rallied around Cafe to get it up there. But I think they're both great sets. They're both fantastic looking. Give me some icon mods. Let's go with Cafe.
I'd say Cafe. Olivia's great. Play video games with her from time to time. She's a good friend.
Fantastic.
Cafe has the theme. Who doesn't like? I mean, okay, there are definitely people that don't like coffee, but I love coffee.
Yeah,
I enjoy me some coffee.
Shout outs to Nathan Kim, Teha Types. Made some. If you're watching his stream,
is it Dalgona?
Dalgona.
Dalgona,
I think is how you say it. Made some Dalgona coffee while watching him the other day, and he was making it, and I was like, you know what, I got the stuff. I'll make it, and then I did
made it too. It was delicious.
It was fantastic.
It was delicious. I made two, and then I started like twitching later in the day.
You know, I might make some later. Who needs sleep?
Exactly. So this would have been a great matchup. Would have loved to see it. But as we move on, the Boomer versus the Zoomer. As we coined it last week, GMK Oblivion versus GMK Dracula with 1,736 votes to 1,391, a 55.52% of victory with 345 vote differential. The Zoomers win.
The Zoomers united, and they took down the Boomers. They harnessed the power of the Boomer reducers. And Dracula moves on.
It's Dracula. You know, I think it's tough to. These are two very, very close sets. They're very similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whenever Dracula was released, it immediately got, the thought was, oh, well, this is kind of Oblivion. But it's like, well, at the end of the day, what is Oblivion doing? Oblivion has its own theme, and Dracula has a very different theme from that. It's just that there are, Oblivion doesn't really have like that. You don't have like a trademark on just having different colored modifier keys. So there's not like a trademark for that. You can't trademark the concept. He changed some different colors, made it unique, made it Zoomer-esque, Zoomer-friendly, and kind of went with that highlighter theme. It's got brighter colors that pop, lots of base kit. This is a very, very hype set. I think while Oblivion has shipped and has gotten in, it's around 2. People are just happy that they have it. It's not that I'm hyped that this set came out. It's I'm hyped that I actually finally own this.
Right.
Set.
Well, and Oblivion V2 did have its own round of issues as well. I know most of them, if not all, have been fixed at this point, but it did have some issues. And I think that maybe took it down in a lot of people's eyes. Another big thing that I am kind of just really noticing right now is the fact that I've never really... These sets are not for me. Unfortunately, I'm not big into either of them, but just text mods versus icon
text plus icon. Yeah,
I think that also the throwing a little bit of icons really helps out a little bit. I think just a little bit slight more saturation of Dracula. That's what we talked about last time. It makes it a little bit nicer. It's like the Oblivion of the night, but like wave.
Yeah, it's that Miami Vice, kind of Miami at night, Tokyo at night, that cool, like that cyberpunk vibe. That it kind of it checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. Very excited to see this come out. I know it will be coming out relatively soon, probably here in the next 3 to 4 months. We'll start seeing this ship. So the main question is, will it ship with a W on its back and a championship label on it, or are we going to see a repeat? We're going to see the GMK Chicago Bulls, GMK Olivia, just continue their dominance.
We'll see, but first, I have. This is my my personal. I wish we would have seen.
We would have seen it.
Just because I wanted to see the two Olivia sets go up against each other. GMK Olivia versus GMK Olive.
Should have been named GMK Olivia.
Yeah, come on, man.
But missed opportunity.
Missed opportunities there. I know you've made that very apparent to Olivia multiple times. I love Olive. I like Olivia. I think Olive would have gotten demolished, but it just would have been fun to see the same person set go up against each other.
It would have been very interesting. We have a couple different people that could have had that. With GMK Mizu, could have gone up against GMK Peaches and Cream.
Or Tara.
Now, we were talking about what would you wanted to see?
Yeah.
And I said GMK Tara versus anybody would have been fantastic, but it lost to Vostok for whatever reason.
Which then Vostok got thoroughly
destroyed.
Handed a complete and utter
total domination.
It was a
in the
total
first round.
domination, unfortunately, but that would have been an interesting matchup to see, as Mizu versus Tara is kind of viewed very similarly. As green versus blue. I think blue wins that because more people like blue or are less offended by blue than green. Other than that, I don't know. 8008 could have gone against Dual Shot.
But I think 8008
just absolutely wipes. So I think the closest matchup you might see there is Mizu versus Peaches and Cream, but I still think Mizu. We're talking like that's a 58% victory.
Is Bento is Bip as well, right? You could have gone Bento Dots. That would have been interesting.
That probably would have been one of the closest.
That probably would have been pretty close.
I think Bento runs away with that one.
Yeah.
But
well, maybe. I don't know. Dots was like
it did go far, but it could have had an easier.
Dots got dominated by Theo last week.
Dots got absolutely destroyed.
Got throttled.
67% win.
Yeah. Which doesn't sound like a lot.
In the round of 16, Dots went against MT3 Serica. So
yeah. As our good friend Ling always said.
It's like I always say, the best offense is a great GMK.
And you know what? If you got the GMK, you beat the MT3.
Yeah.
So, hey, Olive versus Olivia I think Olive would have gotten dominated, but it would have been fun to see. It would have been a fun question to ask Olivia.
What are you picking? Picking your name, or are you picking green?
She would have picked rose gold, but
hey,
it would have been cool.
Basically, what you're saying is Olivia has a favorite child.
Yeah, I'm sure she does.
So, what was the biggest landslide win? Just a quick look. It was GMK Olivia versus SA 128K. It was 87% victory with a 2060. I believe it was one of the only. There was a couple that were still. It was one of the few of the most, but yeah, it looks like 87% was the highest percentage margin of victory. With the highest voted number of victory would be Metropolis over GMK Denim. Was 2,105 people. That's total numbers. So it just, percentage, those are your two kind of big victories. Neither of those are surprised there. But anyway, moving on.
All right. So this will be your who's getting third?
Who's getting
that last place in the podium?
Hands down 8008.
It's
got ship hype. It's got shipping hype. It's got people. It's going to have Reddit hype, Instagram hype. Oblivion, not only was it already old news when it was released, but it's old news. It's been shipped. It had unfortunate problems when it was coming out. 8008, haven't seen problems yet. Hoping for the best. I think 8008 is going to take this away and run with it. 8008, I'm going to say by at least 12%. Let's say 62%.
Cold-blooded.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think 8008 is going to demolish. Say demolish. I agree. 12-13%, which does not sound like much. But at this stage in the tournament, when you're talking about 3v4, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You know what this is? This is Zoomer's best friend, other Zoomer versus Boomer. This is like
Zoomer's twin brother.
The Zoomer just beat up the Boomer, and now the other Zoomer is going to come and finish him off. They're about it's
the fraternal twin.
I don't think I don't see a world where Oblivion wins this, just because I think the people that like Oblivion, while there are a lot, obviously both these sets sold. I mean, Oblivion outsold 8008, but hype people are going to be voting for it.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I think 8008 will win. Obviously, it gets the bump. It's shipping. People are going to be excited for it. They're going to start seeing pictures on Reddit. They're going to see them on Instagram, not only just in this tournament, but in day-to-day basis. People are also seeing them Bower, which is right there. So, yeah.
Crazy.
Oblivion really hasn't. It's funny because I feel like Oblivion, when it did release, it didn't get really hyped after
I'm telling you, people were just happy that it wasn't. Like, I'm super stoked that I got Oblivion.
Yeah.
It's thank God. Like, I've seen this everywhere. I'm glad I'm able to obtain it too.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
I'm able to throw this on my main board.
It's one of those classics.
It's a classic, but it's not flashy.
No, it's the Boomer. The Boomer set will hope. Well, I'm not gonna say hopefully. Will more than likely get taken down yet again by.
I'm gonna say hopefully. I don't really like GMK Oblivion. I'm sorry. It's fine, but the text mods. I mean, like, I look at this and I'm like, okay, we're going against the first set that's released with the centered icon mods versus all text mods. I'm like, this is literally the definition of Zoomer versus Boomer.
Yeah.
Like, come on, people.
It really is. We're zooming. They're booming. Let's go, baby. 8008 for the win. Let's get third. Get on that. Get that bronze medal.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
All right.
And it fit on a bronze Bower. Perfect.
Hey, there you go. This one has a
zip zoo.
No, it's got a copper plate.
So
right. That's the finals. Olivia versus GMK Dracula. You think the 2-to-1 ratio will take out the full-on Zoomer?
Boy, howdy. I don't know. So this is I just think Olivia's going to win.
You think Olivia's going to win?
I think it's going to be like 58 to 60%. I think Olivia's just going to walk away with it. I think once again, you're kind of voting for two different key sets.
Yeah.
You're voting against, this is a very colorful set that some people might not like versus what I have been stating forever, which is a safer colorway with the white alphas, the dark mods, the accent color that people can get behind. Both fantastic pictures.
Yeah.
Great pictures to look at when you're voting. But personally, I mean, this is a set, if it's Olivia Dark by itself, no way does it beat Dracula.
Yeah.
But it's Olivia ++. It's the whole package against Dracula. I want Dracula to win. Nothing against Olivia. Nothing against Olivia. I want Dracula to win. I mean, I picked Cafe to win, so I've been long out of this.
You're out.
But I want to see it because I want to see someone else get the victory.
I had a lot of faith in Dracula. I picked Dracula to win the entire tournament. I actually picked down to the final four and then this exact matchup. I was thoroughly confident in my pick of Dracula until this week, until about 3 hours ago when the results of this were revealed to us and I saw how close Oblivion V2 was to Dracula and how much of a landslide Olivia was to 8008. I am worried. I want Dracula to win, but I'm very worried that Olivia will win. It is crazy to me how much support Olivia ++ is still getting. I didn't think it was still that crazy.
It's tough. That's why I was saying. That's why I brought it up. I think we're voting for two different sets.
Hey.
It's an interesting concept. I'm curious to know. It makes me. It's one of those things that's either going to be like, yep, we knew this was happening, or it's going to make that victory so much sweeter.
All I'm saying is if Dracula does win, I can't remember the name of the guy that did Dracula. Piku Alu, I think his name.
It's I can't remember.
That's his username. I think I want to see a response from him. I'm sure he's going to be going nuts.
I'll send him if he is over the age. If wherever he lives, he is able to drink, I will happily buy him a bottle of champagne from Mech's on Deck to him.
Hey, I'm down.
Taking down the champ.
Let's do this.
Like I said, it's tough. I'd love. Both these sets are great.
Yeah,
both these sets are great. They both sold insane numbers.
Yeah, you're talking like 3,000 versus 5,000.
Yeah, like crazy. These two sets, by the way, if you want to know why your 400, 500 kits sold GMK sets back ordered like 3 months.
Yeah, here you go.
These are the sets that are
this
full.
is insane.
But yeah, these are extremely hype keycap sets. Keycaps kind of went in the way that we thought it would. 8008 was a little bit of an outlier. But this was kind of that top four. 8008 was the one that was like, this could be like one of three different. That number 4 seed was kind of one of those that could be any 3 or 4 different sets, but these top 3 obviously going to make it this far. Let's go for an upset, baby.
Hey, let's go Dracula. Come on, baby. Let's take down the queen.
Exactly. I'm going to message her right after this and say, I want you to know that I just spent 10 to 15 minutes trashing your set.
No, I mean, hey, Olivia's a beautiful set. Olivia ++. Olivia's a fantastic person. She's a lot of fun to hang with. Yeah. Pick Dracula. I'm hoping it wins, but hey.
Go out be upset. And vote. Make sure you are voting.
Make sure to vote. And speaking of that, the voting for the finals will occur on April 2nd. So you want to stay tuned to @DixieMech on Instagram so you can be sure to get in your vote for GMK Olivia ++ or GMK Dracula. Either one, whichever one you want to pick. But yeah, you want to stay tuned to that. You got 24 hours to vote, so it'll be run from the 2nd to the 3rd. And then the winner will be debuted here at 8 p.m. Central at twitch.tv/MechsOnDeck, where you currently are for Mech Madness Live, the final episode.
Absolutely. So next up, this next slide, we are going to show you, this is our final matchups for the week. 8008, Deskmats 8008 versus Mizu Twila. The keyboard matchups, number 1, Rev 1 versus Satisfaction 75, and the key sets, GMK Olivia ++ versus GMK Dracula. Also, just a reminder, we will be having the 3rd and 4th, which is GMK, or not GMK, but the Dark Wave by Cannon Keys desk mat against Metropolis in the desk mat category for 3rd and 4th place. We have the Jane V2 CE versus the Iron 165 in the keyboard category. In key sets, we will see GMK Oblivion versus GMK 8008. Be sure to cast your votes. This is it. This is everything. This is the final week. Very excited to see.
And make sure you head on over to the Challenge.
Yes, Challenge
website. Figure out where you're at. You may have bumped up after this. I know Dixie will be updating the brackets so you can see where you're at. You may not have won a prize, but maybe you want to brag to some friends about how high you are. Speaking of bragging to some of your friends about how high you are, let's take a gander at where all the sponsors and partners are.
Your boy is falling off the map.
Take a gander at that key set bracket. Look who's up on top.
Yeah,
boy.
Mr. Osiris. Hey, props. I'd give you a high five, but social distancing.
Hey, you know what? It's okay, but I still want to just point out the fact that key sets winning with 142. The winner of Deskmats, 76 points.
Yep.
So
last place in key sets is right on the bay. The one half of Key Cult at 89 points.
Yeah.
So,
which surprisingly, I don't want to talk crap about Riot. Great dude. He's not doing too hot in keyboards either.
No, he's having a rough time. But we're all a little bit struggling. I am still happy that I'm doing fine in the keyboard section, and I will continue to be all right as long as the Satisfaction 75 wins. But I believe Merlin also picked that, so there's no way that I can get the victory of bragging rights. I'm hoping at the key set section will treat you nice and fairly as well. Yeah. I'm sorry to not pull my weight. And desk mats, as I said 3 weeks ago, I have just been slowly creeping downward as my ability to get anywhere in this tournament has been dwindling.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised I'm as high as I am in desk mats, to be honest. I think the one that I had picked to win got knocked out in like the second round. So,
well, you did better than me.
Hey, you know, we're up there still. You're destroying keyboards. You're doing well. Sitting there third. I don't think you'll pass Alex or Mech.
Yeah, I believe both of them. If either of them pick Satisfaction 75, then I can't pass them. But if both of them picked something below that, then I would be able to actually pass them.
Yeah, I'm sitting pretty there with key sets. So we'll see. I got Starstone hot on my heels though.
Absolutely.
Hopefully he didn't pick Olivia. If we both picked Dracula, then hey, you know, I'm actually in it for like some prizes too.
There you go.
Might win a prize, but yeah. So that's kind of where it stands.
That is where it is. Thank you guys very much for joining us for Mech Madness Live 2020. Next week, our final week.
The final week, we're going to be debuting the winners. So if you want to know who won Mech Madness Live for each of the 3 competitions, be sure to come on back. We'll be live starting at 8 p.m. Central. For all of you on the West Coast, that's 6 p.m., I believe. If you're in Utah with apiary, 7 p.m. You're over there
chilling on the East Coast.
Chilling on the East Coast. You're sipping some sweet tea down in Georgia. That would be
9 o'clock. We got there.
Hey, you know what?
So,
that's one more for you, Urban. Hope you enjoyed that.
So, but yeah, guys, make sure get out and vote. That's all I can say. Make sure you are voting. These are obviously every counts. These are crucial times. We want to see every potential vote. I would love to see if if we had the most votes on these. You know, I don't know which competition or which matchup has had the absolute most votes. We can find that for you next time. But so next week, once again, same place, same time, we will be going over the road to the victories for both, the road to how they're doing, what they will go over, kind of their trail to get there, as well as, you know, obviously reveal the winner of the tournament. Yep. Might be able to reveal some of the winners of prizes.
Absolutely.
And one of these being this as well. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Yeah. Hope y'all have a good week, and remember to stay distant. We'll see y'all.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands, baby.
Hold up, I guess you didn't know that I'm a different breed. Yes, indeed. Got the king, he and me, taking off high speed with the key. I can be anything I wanna be. I'm too hot for you, dog. You can call me Sneaky Pete. Throwing shade at your boy. I'ma cut down your tree. Matter of fact, I'ma leave it just so I can get a breeze. This too easy. I got Christ, and I know that he got me. Undefeated in the game. Yeah, we on the winning spree. Knocking out our adversary toe to toe like I'm my lead. Cause I'm a youngin' and I'm